Hello and welcome to the Hellraiser blog. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's blog, hit the subscribe button. Love to keep you updated with my future thoughts and opinions on different boxing matters. Going to talk about today the fight from last weekend, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, and the implications and my thoughts on that fight and why it unfurled in the way that it did, and what might be next. We correctly predicted the winner, Tyson Fury. I actually thought he won the first fight, but didn't get the decision when it was given a draw. This time there was no doubt as to who the winner was, with the fight being stopped with Deontay Wilder's cornerman Mark Breland throwing the towel in. Firstly, the tactics for the fight for Fury for me were much better this time. The first time, if you look at the body shape, Fury was like there. That was his body position. This time he was there. He sat down on his shots more. He used his advantages much more this time. His height, his strength, his weight, the bulk of him. He forced Deontay Wilder onto the back foot by using the extra leverage that he got from being there. He was able, just through jabs to the head and jabs to the top half of the body, to push Wilder onto the back foot. And it became apparent very quickly that Wilder really struggled when he was pushed onto the back foot, and was basically a sitting duck for Fury. It made me think, why didn't Fury try this at least for a portion of the first fight? Because, like I say, as soon as he did put Wilder on the back foot, it became clear very quickly, he's got no leverage in his punches. He was sort of arm punching and swinging and looking very crude and getting caught with big shots from Fury. Fury put a lot more pop in his punches, as I expected him to this time. In the first fight, he was catching Wilder with some clean shots, but they were more arm punches rather than really getting the leverage into those shots. This time he really put some power in, and to good effect. And that's how the fight ended up being stopped. He dropped Wilder twice en route. And really, this fight, I would say Fury absolutely hammered Wilder. It wasn't close. At no point in the fight did I think, I wonder who's winning this. I actually had Fury miles ahead on points, and I definitely had him lined up for a stoppage victory from about the second round on. I remember I was messaging my little brother on WhatsApp, talking about the fight, and just, it seemed apparent in this fight that Fury was not going to leave it to the judges. He was determined. He was cutting the ring off. He was landing with he was taking chances which he wouldn't take in the first fight. He was actually digging his heels in and letting big shots go. Ken Bayliss, the referee, for me, I felt as if he was helping Wilder whenever he could. Even when Wilder went down, it looked as if he was very reluctant to start counting. So I think you've got to give Fury credit. He went into the other guy's backyard. He went in against all the disadvantages that come with that. I wish that Wilder had just stood up afterwards and gone, look, the better guy won tonight. Whatever I did, he had an answer for it. And I remember fighting a guy called Mark Redhead. Mark Redhead, he was from somewhere in the Midlands, or like North Newmarket he was from. And I remember boxing him, and first round I thought, I'm going to knock this guy out, I'm going to get him. And Mark Redhead, he was 3 times ABA finalist. Mark Redhead was a good boxer, and the second round, different. I felt like I was boxing someone completely different. He switched his tactics, he'd adapted so well, and I just couldn't catch him. And I had to go to my dad, and my dad asked me, what happened there? And it broke my heart. I had to say to my dad, do you know what? He was just too good. Like, the first round, I thought, I didn't think it's going to be easy, but I thought, this is going to be, I'm going to win this. But his brain, he adapted quicker than what I did. And I'm glad that I had the balls to say, right, do you know what? I just boxed someone who, on the night, he was more intelligent than me. He was better. He adapted to me better than I adapted to him. Fair play to him, he beat me. That's good. Right. I can walk away from that now, 20 years past it. At least I was a man about it. At least I acknowledged what the guy had done. I think Wilder has surrounded himself with fanboys and people, yes men, probably apart from Mark Breland, because Mark Breland is a definitely. I mean, no one can argue Mark Breland doesn't know boxing. He's an Olympic Games gold medalist, a world champion, destroyed Lloyd Honeyghan here in London, and he threw the towel in. Another conspiracy theory that came up was that people around in their entourage were shouting, "Don't stop the fight." Mark Breland threw the towel in, and he said, "Well, I didn't hear anyone saying don't stop the fight." But the first thing I'd say is Mark Breland is qualified to throw the towel or not throw the towel. What happens when you build a boxer? Okay, you sign a boxer, you get him up at the beginning of his career, and you work. Normally at the beginning, it's just like the trainer and the manager, and you all work as a team, and you build your guy up. And it's quite a lonely process sometimes, because even though there's three of you, we've all got other stuff, and the manager's doing his business, and the trainer's got a life of probably other boxers that he's training. But as you get suddenly to TV and to fight for titles, and it all gets a little bit more exciting, from nowhere it seems these sort of parasites gravitate from nowhere, and they've all got their word of advice. I think you should be doing it this way, and this. And most of these people that suddenly appear on the scene, they don't know. And also, when you're there from the start, you build like an emotional connection to the whole project. You want to see it do well because you be meticulous in building it and laying the foundations, not just appearing when you've got the finished article or near to the finished article, and then suddenly start hijacking other people's hard work. That for me, it's a really weaselly thing to do. And when I see some of the things that are going on with Wilder, this is what I think, in my heart of hearts, this is what I think. I think he's surrounded himself with people that tell him what he wants to hear. We all thought the fight should have gone on. I'm neutral, right? I got no affiliation to Wilder. I got no affiliation to Fury. I like both of them, but it doesn't make a tiniest bit of difference to me who wins the fight or who doesn't. I was a neutral. I watched it. I was happy to see the fight ended, not because I was hell-bent on wanting Fury to win, because I thought he was going to get hurt. This is professional boxing. Guys get seriously injured. Guys can be killed. Mark Breland done him a favour, a big favour. If anything, Wilder should have said, "Listen, you looked after me there. Not the result that I wanted, but you got me out of trouble." Not that most boxers wouldn't say that, because boxers will fight to the end. They want to keep going. But Deontay Wilder was not going to win that fight. He at no stage did he show even the remotest chance that apparently he wants the rematch. Mark Breland done him a favour. Suddenly all these, there's a conspiracy, because why couldn't the trainer hear all these sort of hangers-on shouting, "Don't stop the fight"? Maybe he could hear, and he just refuses to acknowledge because he wants to take responsibility for the job that he's been asked to do. Not some guy that just turned up out of nowhere, blagging their way along. The fight should have been stopped. It was stopped. It was right that way. It saved Deontay Wilder from having his career ended there and then. There's also this story about the costume was so heavy. Sorry, this is a world heavyweight title fight for the WBC world heavyweight title. Surely that was not the first time he tried on that outfit on the day or on the night of the fight. That's impossible, especially if it was as heavy as they're saying it was, this outfit. There's no way that should happen. And if it did happen, Deontay Wilder, no one put a gun at your head and told you to put this outfit on. He has to take responsibility. And if he says, "Oh, well, my manager," right, well then, who signed with the manager? Why did you accept to put this heavy outfit on? Because I know if I was a boxer, and firstly, knowing as I was myself, I'd have been trying that outfit on for a month before every night, running myself through the whole the the process of visualization of the fight. But surely you wouldn't just put an outfit that's so heavy just on the night of the fight for the first time. I mean, it must be tailored, fitted. There's just no way that possible. I mean, I just think surely no, you didn't have that for the first time. If he did, then I think he has to take a big portion of the blame himself, because it's the fighter's duty at the end of the day to make sure that he surrounds himself with the right people. And you know, you sign with who's going to look after you. If you sign with people that can't look after you, on your head be it. Happens a lot in boxing. What can you do? I mean, regardless of what outfit he wore, regardless of whether they told him to throw the towel in or not, I saw nothing from Wilder that said to me he is capable of turning this around. I just didn't throughout the fight. I hate excuse making. I'm very proud of the fact that I had fights where I thought I lost, I ended up winning. I had fights I thought I won, I ended up losing. But I'm proud of the fact I've always been honest. That's part of being, for me, a great sportsman, if not a great champion. That's part of it. You just, you know, you tell it how it is, not this garbage about if he didn't wear the outfit he'd have beat Fury. We'll see in the rematch, because if they have a third fight, Fury now knows, and you can't. Right, Fury knows now the blueprint of how to take Wilder apart. Probably do it even quicker next time. And it's a lot easier to teach a technical boxer how to switch between coming forwards, going backwards, exploit this weakness, do that, because technical boxer can adapt like that. A puncher like Wilder cannot adapt. He can't suddenly become a boxer. He's not going to outjump Fury in the rematch, I can tell you. He won't even come close to him. It's just conspiracies, and knowing the kind of people that I think will gravitate around Wilder, he'll have a lot of people feeding those and confirming them to him. You know, weasels. That's what they are. Boxing weasels. And there's too many of them in boxing. The conspiracy theory was apparently that also Mark Breland has a connection to Anthony Durrell, and Anthony Durrell also has a connection to Tyson Fury, that they've worked together, and therefore potentially there could have been a conflict of interest. Garbage. Don't believe a word of it. But that's what happens when you work hard to bring a fight and get them up there. Quite often, you know, these people do gravitate, and that's a problem that we, as boxing managers, we have to deal with. But okay, so if Wilder does genuinely believe that outfit weakened his legs, maybe then we'll see in the rematch a completely different fight. I don't believe it. I think if they have a rematch, Fury will absolutely annihilate him. And I think outside of the financial situation, which is probably a large motivation factor as well, if you wanted to look after Deontay Wilder's best interest, I think you'd say you need to rebuild, you need to learn some new skills, which you can't do in a short, you know, in a couple of months. You're talking about completely changing a guy's boxing style, and it takes years to build these things. You can have some fighters who learn quicker than others, but I can't see how Wilder can, in the space of, you know, a couple of months, go from being a guy that literally, I mean, as we saw on Saturday, he couldn't cope going backwards. Guys, I've lost light again in my godforsaken office. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy the blog, and keep an eye out for future blogs on the Hellraiser Boxing channel. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.